Welcome back and thank you for joining us once again on The Press. I am Messi Babajide and we've gotten to the segment where we get to invite our guests, of course, to analyze most of the headlines. And before that, our phone lines are open, of course, to take your calls. You can call and join in on the conversation. Thank you. And today with me in the studio is Stanley, Amos. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'd like to get into nitty-gritty for today, but then before that, in the spirit of celebration, let's take some not too serious stories. For the Guardian newspaper this morning, the kicker reads SALLAH, and the writer says Katsina governor rejects 100 rams from Philantropist. That's on page, hold on please, that's on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Stanley, what's your take on that?
Well, basically, I think if it was to be a nomination form, he would not have rejected it. So basically, maybe he has more than enough in his yard or probably in his farm. So he's a northerner, and northerners are known for that. They actually, every one person is into poultry business, rearing of cows and rams and the likes of it. So I really don't think it's a big deal. And I think he just has his personal reasons, just like what the Kano state governor did when after inauguration, he has to change the chair that was in the place. So basically, everybody's spiritually awakened.
Not just even spiritual, because I'm trying to see it from another angle. I mean, collecting 100 rams from certain philanthropies, doesn't that feel like holding him to ransom? If you look at it from that
Not really ransom. You know, there are some kind of things you give and there are no receipt for it. So that's basically one of them. So it's not basically around something. He's just doing it, and it is what it is. I think he has his personal reasons that's best known to him.
And let's take one more story before we get into today proper. Bride's relative steals dowry in Kano. That's on page 8 of Daily Trust too. It looks like a lot is happening today, but then in the spirit of celebration, do you have anything to say? Because I feel like you are more accustomed with the northern ways, but in Yoruba part of Nigeria, or the western part of Nigeria, we know that dowries are usually for the bride's family.
Yeah.
But my question is, did they actually need to steal?
Basically, I think if we dig deep in the story, I think there are some things we're not getting right. So because, you know, hearing stories from one end does not basically means it's true. I don't know if you understand me. So there needs to be some space, you get, know where the laxities are from, so that we can probably put things together. It does not make sense. That says a lot about the family. That is like a disgrace on a big time. So I think there's
more to a story. But then, of course, are you trying to say that we journalists, we have a way of coining our stories? But then, speaking about stealing, I'd like to go to Akpabio's choice of aids. That's on Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Northern senators grumble. Accuses Senate president of snubbing region in selection of personnel staff. I've not seen the list yet, but then from the list of Abbas that I saw, that's the Speaker of the House of Rep, there was multidimensional and people from different regions. But in this case, Northern senators have grumbled, and is this like a clear case of nepotism? And I'd like to take you back to when President Tinubu actually appointed his chief of service staffs. I know people came out to cry wolf about, nepotism, until people actually sat down to analyze and say, maybe people were expecting conk Igbo names like Opeze, Ekweremadu, or Staunch Fulanese and all that name. But then at the end of the day, by the time you analyze it, you found out that these people are actually from different regions in Nigeria. Is this the case? Or actually, do you think the Senate president should actually have been?
Okay, now if those personal staffs or personal aides are actually being paid by governments, I'm sure they will pass through some scrutiny. And if they are passing those through scrutiny, there is Federal Character Commission to make sure that these persons are in the right places from the right regions in the country. I don't know if you understand. So, you know, more of these things can just be like a political thing. People just saying. It will shock you that maybe when you go there, maybe his right-hand man is even a guy from the north. You understand? So because Federal Character is there, and I believe the last I checked that they are working on every recruitment or every whatsoever that has to do with anybody in the government parastatal offices, Senate, anywhere, they are to be bring into the picture. So I'm sure that they are aware, and I'm not sure nepotism is actually going on there. So let's take a look at the recently service chiefs that was appointed,
yes.
The chief of naval staff CNS, Mr. Emmanuel Gala is from
Igbo, yeah.
We have Mr. Lagbaja from the south.
The south, yeah.
We have Koas from the north and the likes of it, So it is what it is. When our past president was there, Buhari, basically it was literally everybody from the north, and I'm sure there wasn't this uprising. So, and Tinubu started with his slogan, Emilokon. Basically what it means in Yoruba is my turn. And
but don't you think this Tinubu regime is actually portraying it in a way that, we all are to get on board this time? It's not just for one region or one particular part of the country right now.
Oh, well, let's sit back and see. Okay. I saw somewhere that they said the ministerial list will be out after the SALLAH break. Okay. So I think that will actually really prove more of what he has been saying, that, okay, this thing is for everybody. But to me, I'm not surprised or I'm not so concerned, because if at some point a particular region actually did same, so why is it now a roller coaster now that some other person is doing? Yeah, so to me, it's not really a big deal. But let's keep our hands crossed and let's see what the president has in store for us. Okay,
I like the fact that you spoke about the past president of the country, and now it leads me to this story on Daily Sun, and of course, it's on every newspaper this morning. Leading Nigeria, one of the hardest life challenges. That's coming from former President Muhammadu Buhari. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. If you could remember, the last time I was here, I had this conversation with the co-guest, Atiku, and I said, if you are not in position, you always believe that whoever is there is not being effective. Now, humans generally, we are very difficult to deal with.
Okay.
So, dealing with children or dealing with your co-workers, now imagine millions. I told somebody something.
But if you're not up to the task, then you don't take it.
Now, there is something we call, you being up to the task and somebody being difficult with you.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand. You can't be everywhere at the same time. Most times, I really don't blame the president. Let's go back to the roots from the local government council.
Okay.
The, the chiefs, the elders, the governors, the senators. Okay, now, when the appropriation bill is passed, the governor of a particular state is aware there is XYZ amount of money that goes to the states. Do this, this, and this. The Senate, representing some constituencies, do this, this. Do you expect the president now to go and be checking that these roads are done, the president cannot be everywhere. So that is why the office you are taking, you actually swore an oath that you pledge allegiance, that you be faithful and you do XYZ for your people. So when you are now there, you are not doing it. The president's own is just to make sure, okay, he puts capable hands. That is where trust comes. Oh, you can do this, yes, okay, take this and do. When the Dasuki case came up, our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, he was shocked. He never knew that such things actually happened during his tenure.
They should have people in this particular parastatus that are actually supposed to report back to him. That is why you are the president. You are the first in command.
Okay. Now, it still go back to politics and it still go back to people.
Okay.
You are who you are, regardless of the position you are occupying in the society.
Okay.
The fact that you're a professor of business does not mean you excel in business. You get. So now the fact that people are there, those people, they are humans. They can compromise at any time. If we as humans can even compromise regarding God, then our fellow humans, we can't compromise. So it is basically what it is. Humans are humans. And the president, at some certain degree, I think he was the only candidate in 2015 that said, he has contested like 3 times and he won it the 4th time. My mentor once told me something. He said, Buhari was the only prepared president because he said, I could do this thing for consecutive 4 years. You understand? But coming to it now, you can
He didn't deliver.
you can basically tell what the country is saying. So now you see,
So
so even we
yeah.
as the citizen, we are also not happy with him. Just the same way he is saying we are very stubborn set of failures. We are also not happy with him that he could not even deliver, because we saw him as the Messiah per time.
I like the fact that you mentioned deliver now, because it felt like at some point it felt like he didn't even know whatsoever was going on in the country. Then why do you have aides? Why do you have people? Why do you have ministers? These people are supposed to report back to you. You see things happen now with President Tinubu. Yes, it's just been a month, but then some people have said, oh, it's initial gaga. But then we still have a president that has empathy. He comes out to actually talk about, oh, this has happened and all of that. But President Buhari coming out to say it's on every paper this morning saying, oh, leading Nigeria, the hardest thing he has ever done in his life. That means he wasn't fit. He wasn't ready for the business. He applied for a job he was not qualified for.
Well, you know, those things, there was a jingle sometime in social media that you said in your CV that you can handle pressure. Now you've gotten the job.
Ability to work under pressure.
You get. Now you've gotten the job and you are complaining that, oh, 7 o'clock I've not closed. So it's always like that.
Okay.
So from the outside, it seems always simple. When you get inside, you know it's a different ball game. Okay. You get. So it's just what it is. And to me, I won't say he wasn't fit. Okay. I think he saw it differently. But when he got there, it was actually different.
Another ball game. Okay. All right. I like the analysis. And now let's talk about elections, because, of course, there's still plenty cases in court. According to European Union, they recommended reform of INEC. They said INEC needs to be reformed, and 5 other areas. And they stated that 101 violent incidents, 74 fatalities were recorded during campaigns. That's from Daily Sun newspaper this morning. They said European Union recommends reform of INEC. 5 other areas, 101 violent incidents, 74 fatalities recorded during campaigns. And of course, INEC came out to say, oh, European Union shouldn't have said that, and they shouldn't be the one recommending all of this. But then, in general, how would you rate INEC's output during this election, before, during, and post now, and then in preparation for governorship election of some states come November now?
Basically, I would say sincerely that the performance from INEC was really porous. Okay. Nigeria expected more. You've been planning for this thing for like only God knows when. Okay. You've been planning. There have been conferences, there have been workshops, there have been numerous trainings. We're going to deliver this, we're going to do this, you know, making promises. You understand? And Nigerians actually, oh wow, this is an election that is going to determine what is going to happen. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, add 8 years to your present age. Yes, that will not determine how you will see these things. You get, you know, at some points we were thinking, oh, Jega was an enemy of democracy, but I think Mahmoud should have done better. I'm not good at spelling words to people because I actually don't know the duress they were in or in discharging their duties. But I just think INEC should have done better, and the expectance of Nigeria was really very high. Now, I also have these things to say. Ever since the election was over, how many persons that was arrested then for ballot snatching, 1 or 2 things? Has anybody been prosecuted? No. So what are we now saying? So everybody's all caught up in the whole thing.
So that means the European Union is right. They need to reform, actually. And then if you're saying they need to reform, what aspects? I mean, you should have a few things.
Okay. Now, at some point during the election, I was trying to check the portal. You know, it wasn't going. That site was just like,
it was just created for,
it was just there. It was just there. Like when traffic, I think the Minister of Information per time said that they were getting attacked. According to my cousin, he said that wasn't attack. That was just some logs. You know, you were just getting some logs, and you say we're getting attacked. That wasn't attacked. So, and you saw there was a time Dino Milai in International Conference Center said that they posted something like a lady just posted a white picture, you know, and it was counted as a result sheet. So, like, there is a whole lot of reforms. First of all, from the management. Second, to the IT department. INEC is a very sensitive. These things are, get people, there are good guys that can deliver this job. But you know how it is in Nigeria. majority of government parastatals, they actually don't get these people that can do this job. They just contract it because contracting it is a better way for them to get their XYZ.
XYZ. So do you think now I like the fact that you've mentioned you went to the portal yourself, so that means you experienced it firsthand. And now let's take you to what happened during the election, uploading the ECA from EC8 on the portal. There were issues with the presidential results being uploaded, but they didn't have issues with the senatorial EC8 form being uploaded. Do you think this was actually intentional?
Oh, well, to the best of my knowledge, you know, until somebody is prosecuted in the court of law and he has been declared, what's it called, guilty, that is when you can lay allegations on them. To me, I think they actually know what they do. It is what it is.
So you obviously feel like, oh, they were compromised. And I like the fact that you know what they do, right? And now it is called Independent National Electoral Commission. Are they actually independent?
Oh, wow. It's a very good extent. That's a very dicey question, yeah, and I think I'll be very careful in answering that.
Okay.
I really don't know, but I'm not sure they are independent.
Okay.
Because when people talk, you can basically see from their eyes, look at their mouths, and you know this person is lying.
He's lying.
This person is compromised. This person is this. During the coalition in Abuja,
Okay.
a lot of party reps were there, and they were giving complaints.
Okay.
What you do is you look into those complaints, not telling them that they should go to court. I normally make a good reference to Jiga because there was a senator from my region that time that was shouting, oh, Jiga, you are fraud, Jiga, you are fraud, Jiga, you are fraud, Jiga. And I said, okay, calm down. What is the situation? Let's look into it. There are sometimes you need to certify the appetite of someone.
Right there and then.
There are some you look at, okay, this thing is going to cause some way of issues. Okay, let me see how I can manage it. Okay, how about we do it this way? How about we do this? You understand? So even if you want to do these things, there are better ways of doing them and a smarter way. Nigerians are very intellectual. Like, it's actually in Nigeria that you want to do anything. Somebody will like, do you want to guide? You want to scam me? You know, we are very conscious. Every Nigerian believes that the next person with him or her wants to scam him or her. So it's not that we are not fools. We know these things. Posterity will judge all of us rightly if anything we are doing regarding the way forward of this country is good or bad. So there are some things that you just have to leave it that time will tell, and God will help us all.
Okay. So it's got to the point where we just get to pray about it now. Now let's go to mortuaries to pay 1,000 naira for proof of ownership certificate from July.
Okay. Basically, on that, you know, anybody that knows Tinubu knows a revenue man. Okay. And any way to get money for the country. Okay. Because when Tinubu won, everybody literally in Abuja has been saying, oh, there will be toll gate going to the airport. When you're entering Abuja, you see a toll gate, you know, XYZ, issues of that and all. So that has been it. We are expectant in as much as it's going to make the country move forward. Fine. UK derives revenue mainly. That has been their major source of income. You get so, and they are doing very great with it. So if we can do it, and one of the thing is, Nigerians don't need too much. Okay. If I'm paying 10,000 naira for this thing, let me get it. Let me be okay. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. So it's not like, okay, I'm paying this money and I'm not getting the services. There is nobody that is as angry as that. Okay, you are collecting this 1,000 from us. Oh, we are seeing where this money is going to. This money is being imputed in the right sectors, in the right places. You understand? They won't have issues. Everybody will be happy. You understand? Not like, okay, they are collecting this 1,000. Okay, subsidy has ended now. Where is the money of subsidy entry?
Exactly.
You understand?
Yes.
So, okay, I'm suffering. I'm buying fuel. Maybe I'm buying 15,000 before full tank. Now I'm buying 40,000. Okay, this money I'm not paying. How is it going? Where are the places? So there is nothing good that will actually come handy. There are times to sow and there is time to reap.
Well, now let's go to that fuel subsidy you mentioned. You mentioned fuel subsidy that was removed. Now, according to Nigerian Tribune and page 6, fuel subsidy removal to fetch Nigeria 2 trillion naira in 2023, 11 trillion naira by 2025. That is what we're going to be talking about fully now. And now, Of course, fuel subsidy has been removed. There's a lot of things that have been subsidized. Electricity tariff starts 1st of July. But the problem is not the remover. The problem is the money gained from all this subsidy removal. Where are they going to be put to use? And are they going to actually be used properly for what Nigerians actually need right now? Do we even trust them enough to actually do that for us?
Okay, now going to that, actually, I believe after the ministers have been announced and they have been screened and work has started, that is when probably things will start materializing its very best form. Because basically on all agencies, parastatals, ministries, it's just the palm sec that's in terms of affairs right now. So maybe when the ministers are there, then we'll see. But
do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually optimistic about it, and I'm open to it, whichever way it goes.
Whether it goes bad or it actually goes good. Okay, and they actually said inflation meant 4 million Nigerians into to send 4 million Nigerians into poverty. Previous mix of fixed monetary exchange rate policies, Naira redesign, failed to deliver desired results. And of course, I feel everybody knows that Naira redesign was just from...
No, actually, I've been inquisitive about this Naira redesign.
Okay.
Emefiele can be called whatever name he wants to be called, but everyone knew that the Naira redesign, his major intentions was, okay, Nigerians, politicians do buy votes.
Okay.
By the time I heard this money for XYZ time, they won't see this money to buy votes. Okay. So dollars will probably be what will be available, maybe probably to them. So, and you don't expect somebody to be giving $100, please vote for me and stuff. Yeah. So the whole thing was like, okay, he wanted to curb vote buying. To my own layman understanding, probably he might have his intention, but I'm coming from a layman perspective now. That, okay, this will curb vote buying. And that's it. But we Nigerians, we're very good in throwing arrows, throwing things to people, blah, blah, blah. Emefiele is very close to the president, and there are actually no issue that's... Okay, fine, you can
sorry to cut you short. Hi, good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
From Lokoja.
All right, please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much. I love the analysis being given by this wonderful analyst.
All right, thank you very much.
That's the issue that you are even treating now.
Okay.
The Naira design was not supposed to be bad, or it wasn't intended to be bad.
Okay.
Politicians fought against it. I am not necessarily a fan. I've never been a fan of this ex-man, Buhari.
Okay.
But you see, that policy was initiated to bring about a life of, trying to, call out the politicians themselves. It was intended to check the excesses. It was intended to allow us to move away from winner take all mentality. This type of I am the one in charge, and this is why the country is not moving forward. So to me, I think we should, this government should not just come up. Of course, I wouldn't know. God has his way. There are so many things that will still come up in this country. We should not just throw, think everything, pander to the wings and caprices of those, talking. Things are still going to change in this country for good. And there are some policies. Of course, even if it's a policy that central bank, undertakes every 5 years. So they have the right to do something if they know that certain things should look at what we are going through now. In spite of the intervention and all those type of things, people are suffering. So to me, and there's so many other things, the AIDS is taken by who was now this is a man from Akwa Ibom. You see, these people that are being circulated, we should check them. at the other man from Kano. Where is he from? He is, being pragmatic. So the country needs to sit down and redefine, if possible, restructure. We should understand where we are going to. Thank you very much. Let me know there are so many things. The analysis is really being very clear. And it is being down to earth, not tribalistic, not anything. I commend it.
All right, thank you very much.
I hope you are not related to, I suppose you are related to Babajide.
All right, thank you for joining on the call. All right, have a great day. Yeah, bye. Okay, we'll do analysis of that, but let's quickly take this one more call. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Yeah, beautiful morning.
Good morning. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, thank you very much. You are on to SMD from Lagos.
All right, SMD, thank you for calling. Join in on the conversation in 60 seconds, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me appreciate Mr. Stanley for his wonderful analysis.
Okay.
These are the kind of issues we need to look into when we want to analyze issues that has to do with the nation.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stanley. Once again, we really appreciate it. And secondly, I want to respond on the issue of this use subsidy savings to lessen suffering by accredited to World Bank to the federal government. You see, sometimes I ask myself, these world financial institutions, are they for real? Because you will agree with me, IMF, World Bank and some other world financial institutions, the terms and conditions we are given to the developed countries when it comes to loan or something of that nature, sometimes is not in line with the policy of those countries to the extent that citizens in those countries were suffering.
Okay.
So are they ready to make some amendment when it comes to giving loan to these undeveloped countries to make some amendments so that their terms and conditions and the policy of those countries will be in the same ground? That's the question I want to ask. I could remember in 1974, Nigeria gave IMF a loan. Go and check it. There is a publicity, either in the Punch or in the Guardian on this newspaper. Alaji he was a financial minister then. Nigeria gave a loan to IMF.
Okay.
So why is it today, after when we have the manpower, after when we have the resources, after when we have all the potentials, we cannot be able to sustain ourselves the price of giving IMF a loan? Understand? So I think it's high time for us to know that we need competent hands to push this country forward. Let us not bring nepotism issues. Let us not bring tribal issues. Let us not bring religious issues. As far as you are competent enough to bring out your responsibility as a minister, as a MD, whatever, please, we Nigerians, we should allow you to do that. Let us stop politicizing everything. Yeah, we are into democratic era, but it's not everything that we're going to politicize. There are things when we politicize them, believe me, we're not going anywhere.
Okay.
Like the issue of health, issue of education, issue of security. You know, if you at least politicize these three issues, believe me, you are not going anywhere. I remember I always mention this on the 28th of May 2023, Mr. President, His Excellency Aswajo said he's going to do his cabinet based on national competence.
Yeah.
We are trying to see and we are watching to see those competent and irrespective of their background, their religious affiliation, their political background, as far as they are ready to serve the nation, we are ready to work with them. Thank you very much.
All right,
I remain SNG from Lagos.
Thank you, SMD.
Mr. Stanley, once again.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
You do have a good day, SMD. Thank you for calling. All right, what's your take on the last caller before we jump to what the former caller coach said?
You know, the truth cannot be hidden for a long
time. Yeah.
It is actually what it is. Everybody is watching. Nobody is blind. You know, they say you can deceive me once, but you can't deceive me twice. So please, you can take the call.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling
I'm sorry. Can you speak up, please?
Stanley from Benue State.
Okay, all right. Please join in on the conversation. But before then, please, can you step away from your TV set or reduce the volume of your television?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, all right. Please join in on the conversation.
You see, like from the first analyst that Stanley,
Yes.
that was like giving. You see, many a times say people have this program. I do call for this election. I say, can our INEC get it right? There was a man, I believe he's from Mado, that normally come to your studio there. I've forgotten his name. He said we can get it right. They are not getting anything right. If you happen to see, is it at the 7th assembly or so, whether it's 7 or 8 assembly during their Dino Milaita, he made a comment then. He said Nigeria is sitting on the time bomb and it can explode at any time. Even both him himself will be involved in the crisis. Now, INEC has done their own. I don't know how the case was going on, but with the little understanding, which I happened to watch from Channel TV this morning, the case was not something to write home about. The table can easily turn around. And if it happens that the right thing can be done from our justice and judges and lawyers, then I think we are getting something right. Now they are talking about the salary structure of a thing. Look at the House of Assembly. How much are they earning? What exactly are they doing? If you look at the lucrative life their children are living, none of them that their children are in Nigeria schooling. But we that we are the poor masses in town here, so many people could not even graduate for over 3 years now. What is happening? There are so many things going. 72 months. Some primary school teachers, 72 months. The state workers, 8 months. And he was arrested by EFCC. Was it last 2 weeks or so? I think I heard that he was released last week or so. So where are we getting on? Everything.
Yeah.
But I believe God should intervene. If not, there must be something that we can never be. I pray let there be peace.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. What's your take on what he said?
Well, man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And if you start straightening issues as it comes, I'm not sure we're going to leave this to this today.
But let's take it from somewhere.
Okay, so when he spoke about a lot of things. Now, let me be concerned about education. Now, education is the builder of every society. Education is paramount.
Yeah.
I was privileged to have the two in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and I can tell
The difference.
You know, sending your kids out of the country to study is not a problem.
Okay.
India has the highest exports of tech in the world.
In the world, yes.
Why did it happen that way? You are doing this thing. I don't know how to do it. Let me come to you and
Learn how to do it.
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get you.
So that is what that helps us to do, which is education. The British, whichever country, this UK, Switzerland, France, Netherlands, whichever, name them, that they have good academic structures. Nigerians that goes there, check it out. There are good institutions in Nigeria. When I was in Polytechnic in Nigeria, Uzoro, before I left Nigeria.
Okay.
So there was, there's always this gra in Nigeria now, that, you need to rush for lectures, you need to do this, you need to, But yeah, getting to the white man's country, as the average Nigerian will say it, lecturer will come in the morning, hello, good morning, how are you doing, how was your night? The man is concerned about your well-being.
Which is unusual.
He'll get like on your portal, your email is there, his phone number is there. If he teaches you and you do not get it right, you can basically call him. So the topic you referenced on, I wasn't so calm with it. Can you please, you can have one chit chat with your lecturer. There is this accommodating personality that they do have, even though it's not their person, but because of it's part of description of the job, they will accommodate you. You learn, things are easy. You can't leave the shores of this country, and if you are being trained by your parents and you say you cannot get a first class coming back, sincerely, because you have all the resources available for you, you have all the times, everything is there, and really there is practical things that you can play with. There's also a program of Erasmus. It's just like Nigeria NYC.
Okay.
You live, for example, let's say you go to UK, then your school have a relationship with a school in France. You leave your school for like 2 months, go to France, go and understand how, for example, if it's law, you go and understand how their law is, how things work. There is this integration that makes you to learn. But you know how Nigeria is. He was also talking about something about spending years.
Yes.
It's not that Nigerians' university are so bad, but how many children of the common man can actually go to the schools? You understand? So the ones that are working for us, make it to be working. Nigeria, there are a whole lot of Nigerian students that goes for competition outside the country, and they
yes, that's correct.
That is to tell you that, men, we have products.
We do have products.
So it's just the platform that is not there. You understand? Just like you taking a fish from water to the sea, he cannot make exploits. But inside the water, you dare not.
You dare not.
I don't know if you understand. So every Nigerian has this unique potential in them, but there is no platform. I don't know if you understand. These people can't really say it. They can't really express it. Imagine somebody studying engineering. All through his 5 years in the institution, he has never visited an engineering site to see a practical of what he's doing. Everything they are just telling when you took this panel here, you move.
Please hold that thought. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning, Messi. SMB back again. I'm sorry, Messi. I want to talk one or two things. There is this question which I consider runaway question from Mr. Stanley, but I will bring it back, or maybe I will respond to it. I'm sorry, Mr. Stanley.
All right, please go ahead.
Whether INF is independent or what is his take on that?
Okay.
Yes, it must be runaway question from Mr. Stanley. Okay, we Nigerians, let us proceed so that Nigerians can judge. Section 89 to 92 of the Electoral Act, amended Electoral Act of 1992. Mentions something which is annual report, election contribution report, and then election expense.
Okay.
These are the 3 reports every political party mandated to submit to INEC.
Okay.
You understand? And it's hard time. Like the election contribution report is to provide the details of the monetary, you understand, and then other forms of contribution received by the political party. And this has to come, I think, it has to be submitted 3 months after election. 3 months after election. Now the question is there any political party who made these reports to INEC? That's number one question. Then secondly, the issue of these expenses, which it has to come, I think, 6 months after election. 6 months after election. The question is there any political party who does that? That's number one. I mean, that's the second question. Then the third one is the annual report, which has to come with whatever the political party has, the accessory, whatever the political party. So the question is, are they doing that? I can remember in 2019, Mahmoud Yakubu was saying that it was only one presidential candidate who made his own report. So this is a question that you have to ask yourself. Of course, really, are they real independent? Then, if these political parties and the contestants are not complying with the law, what action did the INEC take? That is the question. If there is any action, that means they are independent.
All right,
if there is no any action, it means somebody is running the affairs of the Independent Electoral Commission, which I don't pray for. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I guess that question was direct because I actually took a scenario of, okay, can INEC actually hold a party or a sitting government to ransom actually after elections?
Actually, I think it's very dicey.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, I paid you for your services, or I'm sponsoring you for something. You get, and we've negotiated and everything is calm. Okay, now, sorry, let me digress a little to the case of Ikore Madu and the boy.
And the boy, yeah.
There's some part of me as a Nigerian that actually told me that that guy actually just wanted to deal with this man, or he got advice. That guy is not a small boy.
Yes, he's not. Okay.
You went for visa, you went whichever way you did it. They got your ticket. Arrangement was done. You got to UK and you are telling me that you were not aware of what you want to do. That was basically that boy not meeting at the part of the bargain. You understand? So going back to this question now is, there's this thing that we normally say, you cannot eat the finger that fed you. No. You understand? So in one way or the other, something has happened that you, me, and every other Nigerians is not aware of. You know, there are some things you'll be like, this thing is bad, but why is somebody not doing
the right thing?
An enemy has done it.
Okay, so you're basically saying there's a compromise with INEC?
Somewhere.
Okay.
Simple.
All right, thank you very much, Stanley. That's all we'll be able to take today on The Press. It's nice to have you, and of course, we do hope we'll have you once again. Thank you so much, Stanley.
You're welcome.
All right, viewers at home, thank you for joining us today on The Press. That's all we can take for newspaper review this morning. And of course, join us same time, same station tomorrow. Of course, to review newspaper, and of course, we'll have a guest analyst to analyze most of what we're going to read on tomorrow's newspaper. Until then, I remain Messi. Babajide. See you tomorrow. Bye.